That was a trailer right there from The Kindergarten Teacher, premiering October 12th on Netflix, and it's produced and starring one of the most reputable actors and voices that's coming out of Hollywood right now. DB, I'm going to let you do the honors real quick.
Well, she has a long, she's an Academy Award nominated actress, and she's the older sister of a guy who some people said I look like, strangely enough. I don't know. I got it once. It was weird. Like, my beard was thick, and yeah, shut up, Wonder.
Keyword strange.
Somebody was like, I thought you were Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm like, no, not at all. Not even close. But anyway, moving right along.
Yeah.
She's done a lot of movies, a lot of which I love. The Dark Knight, when she was in between Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne and got blown the fuck up. Right after she said she would marry Harvey Dent. So that was a really bad twist. She was in one of the movies that, if you haven't seen it, you got to go check out Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell. That was a really dope movie. Played the pastry chef who did not want to pay her taxes, and Will Ferrell tried to actually fell in love with her. So that was another dope film. She did Donnie Darko, which became a cult classic with her brother Jake, and now she's starring in The Kindergarten Teacher as Lisa Spinelli, which premieres on October 12th on Netflix. Please welcome Maggie
Gyllenhaal is here.
Maggie!
Hey, Mag.
Hey, what's up, Maggie? Damn, when you listen to all those accomplishments, how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? I love all those movies. Yeah. It's nice to hear like the old movies I did. Yeah.
Do you watch them like when they come on? A lot of times I like watching old movies that they replay over and over again. Can you watch yourself work?
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't like just pull them up and watch them, by myself.
Okay.
But I have a daughter who's 12, and she started asking me, "Are there any movies of yours that I can see?" And I made this kids movie, Nanny McPhee, which they used to watch. But I just showed Stranger Than Fiction to my 12-year-old, and she wasn't into. There's like one scene where I make out with Will Ferrell, and she was like, "Okay, I need to turn that one watch that," which is fair enough.
Right.
But that was a good movie for her, so I just watched that one again. I don't know. I feel really young. It looked really, it's a long time ago when I watch them, but yeah, I don't mind watching a little bits of. It's like seeing old pictures of yourself or
Exactly.
something. A long time ago.
You do that, Heather? You listen to music you made?
No, but I was laughing because you mentioned old pictures, and Maggie just came in. I was like, girl, I just read about you this morning in the newspaper. She's like, oh, no, what was it? And I was saying how she was talking about old pictures. Sway and I talk a lot about how we grew up watching, like, the Jeffersons and All in the Family and everything. So when I read that you weren't allowed to watch certain shows, I was like, what?
Well, yeah, the thing that they wrote in the Post, that's why, because it was in the Post. I was like, oh, no, what did they say? But yeah, it was this thing about how, I wasn't allowed to watch, what was it, Gilligan's
Island.
I was only allowed to watch the Sesame Street and the Cosby Show. But then I would, and a little bit.
How did that turn out? How did that turn out, Maggie?
Are you still allowed to watch it?
No, but this is the funny part. Was like then, I think I could also watch a little bit of what's it called? Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
But after Little House on the Prairie came Chips.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I ever had this like, what is this feeling I'm feeling? Kind of with like the cops on the in the job
you start feeling lust? You start having felt attracted to him?
Eric Estrada, right? Isn't that
Was
right?
crazy
Like
hot.
Really hot. Yeah.
What is this feeling? Did you run and tell your mom, hey, Mom, what is this?
Right.
Is that why I can't watch TV? Well, how would that affect, because your family was in the business as well, and then your husband is in the business. You come from a famous family. How do you let that affect how you raise your kids? Is it something you're going to do different, or?
It's funny. My parents were really uptight about TV, but they used to take us to see, I think really inappropriate movies all the time. They were like lovers of movies, and they just took us to the movies. And I don't do that with my kids at all. It's not like I have hard and fast rules that can't be broken. I want them to see things that are appropriate for them, that they understand, So I think I do that differently. Also, I'm not like, well, I don't know, maybe I am. I don't like just let them watch whatever on TV. I don't just let them do anything on the internet. I want to check it out first. Although my oldest one is 12, so it's going to be out of my hands in a minute.
Yeah.
At what age could they see a sex scene, you think? Would you be comfortable?
My 12-year-old, it doesn't even, like I said, want to see really a kissing scene.
Right.
She's not at all interested, and she wants me to let her know if there's anything like that coming. I don't I don't know the answer to that because they're not there yet.
Right.
You
Okay.
know
So
what I
you're
mean?
moving with their pace as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember like when I sort of started to be interested in movies that had sex scenes in them.
You better get up on it, Maggie. She's 12.
That internet's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a daughter when she became a teenager. It was, you can monitor it while you're in front of him. And
Yeah.
then you go hope
Yeah.
that they remember what daddy and mommy said, when you're away. But eventually they're gonna venture off. So I tried to head it off at the path, and I just told her all the worst things you can expect in advance and what they actually mean.
Online. You mean?
Online, yeah.
Yeah.
How you could kind of cipher through it. Now, then it didn't become a problem.
Right.
But what it did do is open up the leeway for my daughter and I to talk about everything, including like in real life, with Brett Kavanaugh being sworn in
Yeah.
as a Supreme Court justice. She and I, every single day, we would sit and talk about it, and I would check in on her and ask her, how do you feel about this? And, this isn't a culture that you have to tolerate. You can always speak up and speak out. And I saw a quote that you said that even though he was sworn in, you feel that there's a change happening right now in people's mentality.
I do. I feel, and we can talk about how it's related to the kindergarten teacher, but
Okay.
I feel that it is. I
Okay.
mean, I obviously was heartbroken by him being sworn in, and not surprised.
Mhm.
But I think there is like a sea change, like a serious change going on. It's not going to happen all at once, but even for Dr. Ford to feel that it was her right and that it was important to stand up and say something wrong happened here.
Mhm.
I mean, I think she even said, all my life I kind of went, it wasn't such a big deal. It wasn't so bad. And something shifted, and something shifted enough that made her say, no, it was so bad.
Yeah.
That was assault. It was not okay. And somebody who sexually assaulted me shouldn't be on the Supreme Court. I think what is acceptable and not acceptable, what we allow has shifted, and not shifted all the way, but something has really changed. I do believe that. I feel deeply disappointed. I feel kind of devastated that he's on the Supreme Court, but I still do believe that that we can't really go backwards.
Yeah. Can't go backwards. How does that correlate with the kindergarten teacher?
Well, so the kindergarten teacher, I think, it's about a lot of things. I mean, like just in terms of the narrative, it's about a woman who gets obsessed with a child in her kindergarten class who's 5, who she thinks is a genius poet. But what it's really about is the consequences of what happens when you starve a vibrant woman's mind. And I think, look, I think that's what's been on many, many people's minds, women certainly, and most of the interesting men I know. I think a lot of women right now are waking up to the fact that we have twisted ourselves around and starved ourselves in order just to kind of survive in the world we've been living in, and that we're actually not okay. And that's what this movie's about. You get to see what the consequences look like. And they're pretty dire. I mean, we're a group of women filmmakers who made the movie, so we feel like, what are the consequences? They're serious.
They're serious, right? That's really interesting too. I know. By the way, we didn't even mention The Deuce. Come on, man. What are we doing? Candy, what are we doing here? Candy's in here. I thought when I start, can we talk about The Deuce too?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
cool, great. When I start watching The Deuce, obviously people ask you about the nude scenes and all these different things Candy, the character, does through the movie, and the whole time I'm thinking, wow, how courageous Maggie is as an actress and taking on these kind of roles. But that's when I would suppose, I'm not an actor. That's what you do, But you also fought to be a producer as well on The Deuce, so you could have say so in the creative and who Candy evolves into. Correct? Why was that important to you?
Well, everything I've ever done, signed up to do, I got to read the whole script. And then here, all of a sudden, they're asking me to sign up for 3 years, and so altogether that would be 8 or 9 episodes per season, is like 25 scripts, but I'd only read 3. And I mean, look, David Simon and George Pelecanos, they did The Wire together. They did Treme. They'd obviously done some really good work that says important things about the world. Like, I didn't think they were trying to go make a misogynistic TV show about sex workers and porn, but I didn't know. And I knew enough at that point to go, like, I don't have quite enough here to know that I'm going to be okay. I have 3 scripts out of 25. So I wish it were easier for me to just trust, but it takes me a while. And so I said, look, I want to trust you guys. I want to play Candy. I really did. And I want to do the show. But I need a little more of a guarantee that I'm going to be a part of the conversation, that I'm going to be, a part of figuring out whether or not we're staying on the kind of tightrope we're walking in terms of what it is we want to be saying. And then, the truth is everybody said to me, you are never going to get that. No one is going to give you a producing credit on a big HBO show that you didn't develop. Like, good luck. And I was like, I don't know what to say. I really hope they give it to me, because I don't think I can do it otherwise. And then when they did give it to me, I was like, okay, that was that was the very first step of them saying, like, no, we do want your mind. We do want to be in conversation with you. Yeah. We do want to know where you think Candy should go. We do want to know your thoughts on, like, I mean, I know a lot about misogyny in the entertainment business, like, I could be an asset to them, and they're amazing.
They were amazing. And the series is amazing. Round of applause for bossing up too, Maggie. I know James Franco has been in the news with Busy Phillips from Freaks and Geeks writing a book, memoir, and recalling incidents of, I don't know if you know about this yet, but she said that in a scene he broke character and threw her on the floor. He later apologized. I know he's had other people accuse him of sexual misconduct. How do you, as Maggie Gyllenhaal, how do you cope with that when the co-worker is under the spotlight for those type of things? Do you talk to him about it? Do you ignore it? What do you do under those circumstances?
Well, of course, as a producer, although I think I would have felt similarly as an actor, but I felt it was my responsibility to do the opposite of ignore it. We, at the time that the accusations against James came out in the LA Times, we read them all. We took them very seriously. We spoke to every woman on the crew and in the cast to find out if they felt respected and what their experience of working with James was, and everyone said that they had been totally respected by him. And for me, I would say another thing that was really important was our show is about, like I said, it's about misogyny. It's about transactional sex. It's about inequality in the entertainment business. Like we are, you couldn't be more at the center of that conversation than the Deuce.
Yeah.
And to me, I thought, I want to keep telling this story. I want to keep playing Candy and going deep into like really what it's like from a woman's perspective to be dealing with all the stuff that is on everybody's minds right now. I want to put it on TV.
Yeah.
I want people to see it like straight up. Look at the woman's face who just got asked to give a blowjob for money. Like here it is, like and I think I would have been so sorry not to be able to keep doing that, and also not to be able to watch Emily Mead, who plays Laurie, keep doing that, and and to watch Dominique, who plays Darlene, keep doing it, and to watch like all of these women who are creating these incredible characters that are taking it on straight on. I feel like it would have been the wrong consequence to those accusations to shut our show down.
Yeah.
It would have been like actually the opposite of the right thing to do. And yet, look, I believe that there should be consequences for disrespecting or assaulting women. Of course I do.
As a man, it's really interesting for us because I think there's an education that needs to happen.
That's right.
From grade school age.
Say it.
Really from the home first, and then from grade school age, because a lot of our behavior, and I'll be the first to admit it, sometimes it's oblivious to us
Totally.
what we're doing,
Yes.
how we're acting, how is that offensive. A lot of times we just don't know.
Totally.
And I'm not using that as an
Yes,
excuse.
no,
but,
and
yeah.
I remember when this all first started coming out, and all of these great men I know were like, "Oh my God, is there anything I ever did to disrespect a woman sexually?" And I was like, "Of course there is. We live in a world in a culture where we've been told forever that it's okay." I mean, I think that's part of what was happening with Brett Kavanaugh. I think he was like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe in a way he really didn't think he did, And so I do not think the answer is just to erase people. I think we have to, not just men, women too, what we accept, what we laugh at, and men and women together. I think it's like a systemic problem. I think we got to together make the shift. But I also think it's happening.
Yeah.
I do. I
That's
see
why
it
you say you
happening.
feel it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie feels the change happening.
Yeah.
Maggie feels it.
Real quick too, Maggie, we all jumped behind the Dukes because we love Black Thought and Method Man when
Yeah.
they first came here to support. And they came here, did a killer freestyle. And I was wondering, watching all you guys on screen in downtime, you ever jump in a cypher, a freestyle with them?
I did not think you would want that to happen.
Yo, throw a beat on.
but me and Method, we had some great stuff in season 1.
Yes.
And he's amazing. And I loved acting with him.
Yeah.
Black Thought and we just
We never-
shake
yeah,
our
yeah,
hands
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But then also I mean Method, I mean honestly, that's my favorite scene in all of season 1.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to act together one time season 2, not once. And so that was a drag. But then also, I wrote to him because I made this video, which was an affidavit of one of the women whose child was taken from her at the border, and I wanted all sorts of people to read it. Just her saying what happened.
Yeah.
And I made this video, and I asked him, and I was like, and could you ask the RZA too, maybe?
The RZA?
And he did, and they're both in my video.
You got the Wu-Tang Clan in your video?
I got part of it.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope.
Damn, man, we trying to get him on the show. We got to have you call the
You
RZA.
call me.
Okay.
Oh, Maggie. Maggie is the plug.
See the plug.
Moving back to the Kindergarten Teacher, because it's an adaptation of the Israeli film from 2014. So how do you, because there's the original, which a lot of people sometimes praise, and then when somebody wants to remake or do a reimagining of whatever version they want to do, sometimes people are like, oh, why are you going to mess with the original? How do you stay true and still please the original fans and then to make new fans with what you're doing?
Well, I mean, I actually didn't see the original movie. I got the script. I didn't know it was an adaptation. And then I heard it was an adaptation, and I thought, I couldn't sort of figure out a way that wouldn't at least a little bit limit me. Even if the movie is wonderful, which I hear it is. I just wanted it to be all coming from my mind. And what I hear about it, and I think I need to have a bottle of wine and watch it maybe. But I haven't done it yet. I hear that narratively, in terms of just what happens, that the stories are very similar, but that thematically what they're actually about is completely different. And that the Israeli movie is really about masculinity in Israel and art in a country at war. And our movie, the little boy in it who's wonderful, he's almost he could have just come from my character's mind. It's really about the roller coaster of living in a woman's mind that is losing it because she has just been starving for too long.
All right, and we're talking about The Kindergarten Teacher premiering October 12th on Netflix. Maggie Gyllenhaal is here. Tracy, you got a question for us?
Yeah, real quick. Maggie, I'm wondering, being in an entertainment industry of your brother, does that make it easier because you have someone to speak to? Or can it also make it harder where maybe there's some comparisons and you're always talking about work?
also my husband is
Yeah.
an actor.
Oh yeah, facts. Yes.
So I have
He's a Golden Globe winner, isn't he? Did he?
he's a nominee.
A nominee? Oh, okay. He should have won that year.
Speaking into existence. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, my husband is a brilliant actor, and my brother. I think a couple things. Like my husband didn't see The Kindergarten Teacher until a couple days ago, and because he's an actor, and because I have so much respect for him, and because like he knows what it is to do it every day. When he came to me and he was like, "This is the best thing you've ever done," and he's like, my heart was broken for her. It means more to me than anything,
Right.
Like literally anything, because he actually knows what it takes to do it and how to do it. And my brother's the same. And I also think just like the basics, like what time are you going to be home? I don't have any idea, you know. And like maybe if you're married to a doctor and he's like, I need to get you told the kids you put them to bed, or I need to get out, and they don't know,
Right.
in the way that my husband's like, oh right, of course you don't, you have no idea, or whatever. They know, they know what it's like.
Yeah, I would use that to my advantage. Like if I'm hanging out with the homies,
That's messed
I'm
up,
hanging out in the
Sway.
man cave. What time you gonna be home? I have no idea. I have none. Maggie, since you're here, first time here with us, we do something with our guests that come for the first time, and we call it the mystery sack.
Go ahead and reach in.
Dig deep, dig deep.
Put your hands into Sway's sack.
That sounds gross.
It's Sway's Mystery Sack on Shade 45.
Maggie is so simple. It looks pretty too, Sway Sack. Just dig down,
Thank you,
pull out one question at a time,
Okay.
read it out loud, and you have to answer honestly.
Okay. If you were forced to magically upgrade your capabilities as either a parent or a spouse, which role would you choose and why? Like, what do you mean?
Oh, I didn't write that. Those are mystery questions.
Don't look at me.
From our citizens write those questions.
I see. Okay, like would I either be a better parent or a better spouse?
Sure, let's go with that.
I feel like so much of my time is spent thinking about my kids and like all the little tiny things and then all the big things that, like, you know what? Maybe I need a little extra wife energy.
Power, yeah.
Wife energy is
I'll
good.
take a little wife energy.
I think
All right.
Peter, he'll like that answer.
Question
right there.
number 2.
Oh, number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them.
Oh, 3. Okay.
And then our audience come up with the questions.
Okay. What would you do if Cardi B threw her shoes in your direction? It sounds like she's got a lot of nice Gucci shoes. I'll tell you, actually, I was thinking about this Cardi B song when I shot the 3rd episode of The Deuce. There's this like, I shouldn't give it away. I don't know how many people have seen it, but I it's a long story, but Candy gives this blowjob in exchange for $10,000, and she's pretty heartbroken about it, even though that was her job for a long time. But then at the end, she's in her apartment alone, and she like takes the check that she made out of her purse and she kind of puts it on her desk. And like for some reason, I had that Cardi B song, like, I got money.
All right, one last one.
So I'd be psyched, I guess, if Cardi B threw her shoes.
Okay, cool. Gucci shoes and money.
Doesn't
All
she
right.
say she's like, she's going to get 2, right?
That's hilarious.
What are some things I think about when I'm sitting on the toilet? That is none of your business.
Maggie!
Give it up for Maggie Gyllenhaal,
Oh, my
ladies and
gosh.
gentlemen. All right, and don't forget to watch The Kindergarten Teacher October 12th on Netflix.
And in theaters too.
Okay, that's right.
Yes, please.
Okay, and thank you, Maggie.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
this
You're a
was
magnificent guest. Come back and see us,
thank
okay?
you.
Absolutely. Maggie Gyllenhaal. Coming up next, a lot of us, are you a fan of Prince, Maggie?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have The Revolution. Wendy, Lisa, the band members, Doctor is here. The band members are here.
Oh, can I say, we were just thinking, my daughter was saying we have to rename Columbus Day, and we were thinking we should name it the day formerly known as Columbus Day.
Like
Prince.
artists. That's a good idea. She's brilliant.
Right.
All right. We got The Revolution up next. You want to talk with them, 888-742-3345. give us a call, OQ, while you pull up that song.
Yeah.
Maybe we get Maggie to rap on the way out, no?
No, time to practice,
All right,
Maggie.
Shade 4-5.